that there's a lot that I can shed, light on this topic because anytime we're talking about my personal testimony and a relationship with God, there's always that aspect of viewing yourself maybe as not good enough. And one of the things that we recognize that as is just feelings of guilt or shame, or
Yeah.
better known as condemnation. And from my personal standpoint, having grown up in the church, which is how I know, Tobias and Titus and everyone connected to them, we grew up in church, we grew up in religion, but when it became personal to me and became a relationship, that really opened up my perspective on God and my perspective on Christianity. So one of the topics that we really are going to be discussing today is the topic of excellence. And so coming from the background that I did, which again, this isn't to offend anyone, it's just to give a personal testimony, but coming from a lifestyle of homosexuality, which can be very trying on anyone's identity because you learn to conform to an image of the LGBTQ community. So coming into Christianity, it didn't seem like something that, was achievable for me because I felt like just fundamentally my identity was wrapped up in something that was, contrary to God. So as God began to reveal to me through his word that, we are all born for such a time as this, which is to press towards the calling and mark which is in Christ Jesus, and that's his identity. So as I began to get a revelation of who God is to me and who we are to him, which is when he sees us as his children, and he sees us as righteous as his own son. And again, that's just, he doesn't see us from the things that we do that we may deem wrong or not good enough, which is not a license to do as you please, but he sees you as possessing his nature and his identity. And so he expects you to grow into that through the knowledge of him. So growing up, in Alabama, I'm from Birmingham, being in the South, we always had religion. We always had the Bible Belt mentality, but to have an experience of Christ and his excellence by growing up into what it is that he expects from you, but not expecting to do it in your own right, but allowing him to transform your mind. It's a renewing of the mind. And so that's just a little bit of my story about this topic. And I do look forward to actually delving more into it and hopefully even answering questions.
Yeah, that's good. And so I know that's like a shock factor in itself to just hear the phrase converted from homosexuality into the sonship of Jesus Christ. So, it catches a lot of people off guard, like, oh my gosh, this guy was living this way and may have been doing these things, and now he's turned over and converted to a life that is the light, from the darkness into the light, and now living in the fullness of what God has for him. So yes. I know for me, when I kind of came into that understanding, I was like, man, that's so awesome. But for people that may be going through it, I know it's to them, it's like, how can that happen? Like, that can't be true. That he wasn't living the same homosexuality I was living. But you can't deny the truth. The Bible says you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So once you just accept that Jesus Christ saves anybody and everybody, then you can walk in that newness of life. You can walk into the conversion and begin to live like Edwin, and begin to see the word and see how alive it is, like you said. So I just thank God for him taking this time, hanging with us and stuff like that, because he's in school. He's very artistic. And I got him talking about this excellence topic because I've always known him to be a person of excellence and a person of perfection, almost. Like, he chased perfection. He chased being, having everything done right and in the right manner, looking good, sounding good, and everything like that. So I knew that, just like Paul, once he was converted into the truth, it would only excel even more in excellence. So, I just thank God for him taking the time out to be here with us. So